environment critic to the official opposition. I'm proud to be here tonight along with my leader, Carol James, and Diane Thorne, Mike Farnworth, and Michael Sather, 3 of the MLAs from this community. While we're always happy to listen, I want to be absolutely clear. We are here to say no to this project. We are here to say no to Run of the River on the Upper Pitt, and we're here to say no to the intrusion on Pinecone Burke Park. This needs to be an issue of what is the public interest. When we look at the broad public policy around Run of the River, there are no shortage of reasons to say no to this project. The Run of the River policy is about the privatization of BC Hydro. It is about the end of BC Hydro, the most important crown corporation this province has. There is no public interest in that. This is about economics that say, I give you through BC Hydro $87.50 a megawatt, and you give me $5, and we have a deal. There is no public interest in us being gouged for the price of this power to make others wealthy. This is about when these power agreements expire in 30 or 35 years, these companies being free to sell this power to California or wherever they can get the best price, and that means no energy self-sufficiency in this province. It means Sacramento and California setting our energy policy instead of British Columbians here. There's no People may talk about green power, but the reality is very simple. There is nothing green about 550 rivers or more in this province being on the block for private power. That is wrong, and it is not in the public interest. However, having said all that, there are 2 specific issues to this application. The first one is Pinecone Burke Park. This is an important and essential Class A park. People in this community and across this province fought hard to create this park. And they didn't fight hard to create it so that you could run transmission lines through it to make people wealthy. Run of the River is illegal in a Class A park. The only way this happens is if Barry Penner tears that park in half, creates an amendment to the park itself, and allows these lines to go through. And we will do everything we can in the legislature to make sure that does not happen. Not just for Pinecone Burke Park, which is essential, but as Rafe Mayer said, we have 550 of these projects potentially in this province. How many more parks will have transmission lines? Every one of those projects needs a transmission system. How many more parks will there be transmission applications on? How many more protected areas will the government want to approve these for? This is an essential precedent. We need to say no now because our parks are more important than the private profit that's on the table. You will hear, you heard from Mark Angelo, you'll hear from others here, much more eloquent than me about about the importance of the diversity and biodiversity of the upper Pitt, of the fishery, of the wildlife and the habitat there. What I would say is that I've heard those people, I've heard Mark Angelo, I respect those opinions, our caucus respects those opinions. We are here to say we agree with those people and we support their conclusions, and their conclusion is no to run of the river on the upper Pitt. We think that's the right decision. And my final comment. The Premier has talked an awful lot about climate change in the last year. The Premier has talked a lot about being green in the last year. Well, the reality is, if you want to be green, you need to have an approach that looks at real sustainability. And real sustainability means full cost accounting. Real sustainability means the triple bottom line. Real sustainability means the public interest. There is absolutely no evidence that the public interest is served by these run-of-the-river projects, and particularly by this project. We need to say no to this project now, convince the Premier, convince Barry Penner, and let's move on.